When 32-year-old Emily's grandmother passed away, she inherited the old family house in rural Vermont. The house, built in the late 1800s, had always been a source of fascination and a little fear for Emily, a sprawling Victorian with creaking floors, stained glass windows that threw colored patterns across the dusty halls, and an attic that no one in the family seemed to talk about. Her grandmother's will was simple: take care of the house. And when the time is right, look in the attic. Emily, recently divorced and looking for a new start, moved in that summer. The house was filled with relics, faded photographs in heavy wooden frames, antique furniture draped in white sheets, and boxes of letters whose ink had faded to a ghostly blue. But the attic door remained locked, its heavy iron key left on a velvet ribbon in her grandmother's jewelry box, as if waiting for the right hands to claim it. For weeks, Emily avoided the attic. She busied herself with repairs, explored the overgrown gardens where wild roses tangled with rusted fences, and tried to settle into her new life. But every night, she heard faint noises above, the sound of something shifting, the creak of old boards, and sometimes, what sounded like quiet footsteps pacing back and forth. The wind rattled the windows, and sometimes she'd wake to find the attic light, always thought to be broken, faintly glowing. The neighbors, when asked, only smiled and said the house had character. One stormy evening, curiosity overcame her fear. She took the iron key, climbed the narrow staircase that groaned under her weight, and unlocked the attic door. The air was thick with dust and the scent of old paper, heavy and sweet. Moonlight filtered through a small circular window, illuminating stacks of boxes and a large, covered object in the corner, its shape lost under a faded quilt. Emily's eyes were drawn to the trunk, a battered, leather-bound chest with her grandfather's initials, the brass fittings tarnished with age. Inside, she found a collection of journals, photographs, and a bundle of letters tied with twine so tight the paper was creased. The journals belonged to her great-grandfather, Henry, and dated back to the 1930s. The handwriting was hurried, sometimes frantic, pages filled with diagrams and cryptic notes. As she read, a story began to emerge. Henry had been obsessed with finding a lost family fortune, rumored to be hidden somewhere on the property. The journals detailed his search, cryptic clues, hand-drawn maps with XS marked in red, and references to a guardian in the attic. The letters were addressed to Henry from a man named Samuel, warning him in increasingly urgent language to leave the past buried. One letter, dated just before Henry's death, simply read, "Some doors should remain closed." Emily became consumed by the mystery. She spent days poring over the journals, retracing Henry's steps through the house and grounds, and searching for hidden compartments in the wainscoting and behind loose bricks in the fireplace. She discovered a false panel in the attic wall, behind which she found a small, ornate box. Its surface was carved with strange symbols she didn't recognize. Inside was a key and a note, for the seller. "Beware the guardian." The words sent a chill through her, but also a thrill. She was getting closer to the truth. The cellar was a place Emily had always avoided. It was dark, damp, and filled with the remnants of old canning jars, broken furniture, and the smell of earth and mildew. But with the new key, she unlocked a door she'd never noticed before, hidden behind a stack of crates. Behind it was a narrow passage leading to a hidden room, the walls lined with stone and the air colder than the rest of the house. In the center of the room stood a statue, a life-sized figure carved from wood, its face twisted in a silent scream, the eyes painted a deep, glossy black that seemed to follow her. At its feet was a metal box, locked with a combination. Emily searched the journals for the code, finally realizing it was her grandmother's birthday, a date repeated over and over in Henry's notes as if he were trying to remember something important. Inside the box, she found stacks of old currency, gold coins wrapped in oilcloth, and a letter from her grandmother. You found it. But the real treasure is the truth. The letter revealed the family's secret. During the Great Depression, Henry had hidden the family's savings in the cellar to protect it from the bank. The guardian was meant to scare off intruders, a creation born of desperation and fear. But guilt and paranoia consumed Henry, and he became convinced the house was haunted. The story of the attic and cellar became a family legend, passed down as a warning, a way to keep others from searching for what was best left alone. Emily realized that her grandmother had wanted her to uncover the truth, not just about the money, but about the family's history of fear and secrecy. She decided to restore the house, open it to the rest of the family, and share the story with the world. The process was slow and painstaking. She cataloged every letter and photograph, researched the origins of the strange symbols on the box, and even contacted local historians who helped her trace Samuel's identity. The house, once heavy with secrets, began to feel lighter. As she finished reading the last letter, the storm outside passed. The house felt lighter, the shadows less menacing. Emily knew she had finally brought peace to her family's legacy. Months later, Emily posted her story on Reddit, sharing photos of the journals, the attic, and the hidden room. The post went viral, sparking debates about inherited trauma, the power of family secrets, and the thrill of real-life mysteries. People from around the world reached out with their own stories, and Emily's tale became a touchstone for those seeking closure and understanding in their own family histories. The old house in Vermont, once a place of fear and silence, was now alive with new voices, family, friends, and strangers drawn by the enduring power of a mystery finally solved.